This is ACIM Lesson 68. Welcome to the Explainer. I'm honestly so thrilled you're joining us today because we are diving into a concept that literally has the power to completely shift how you experience your daily life, your relationships, and, well, your own mind. We're going to break down the original source material and make it super practical and easy to use. Love holds no grievances. Now, that profound statement is our anchor for today's session. It sounds so simple on the surface, right? Like something you'd read on a greeting card. But as we unpack the text today, we're going to see that this isn't just some nice poetic idea. No, it's actually a radical, step-by-step formula for completely reclaiming your peace of mind. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We've got 5 parts. 1, our introduction. 2, the cost of grievances. 3, finding motivation. 4, the extended practice. And finally, 5, short and hourly practices. Moving right along into Section 1, Introduction, Our True Nature. To truly understand why we shouldn't hold on to grievances, we really have to first look at where we come from and what we actually are at our core. So the source material tells us something amazing. Our ultimate source is love itself. And because we were created by love, our true nature is exactly identical to it. Think about that. So if we choose to hold on to a grievance, if we're harboring anger or resentment against someone, we are literally forgetting who we truly are. The text explains that holding a grudge actually forces us to see ourselves as just a physical body. We feel disconnected, vulnerable, and completely cut off instead of the expansive, loving consciousness we were originally created to be. Which brings us to Section 2, the cost of grievances, toll on our minds. We so often think our grudges are totally justified, don't we? But the source material outlines an incredibly heavy psychological and spiritual toll that holding on to this stuff takes on us. Just look at the stark contrast happening right inside your own mind. It's wild. On one side, we have the mind on grievances. When you're holding a grudge, the ego just completely takes the wheel. You start experiencing fear, a really deep sense of isolation, and this heavy underlying guilt. But on the flip side, the mind on forgiveness reconnects you to your true self. This is where you find deep peace, a profound sense of safety, and you finally remember your true loving nature. The text gets into the exact mechanism that keeps us trapped in all these grievances, and that is the ego. Now, it uses some beautifully esoteric language here, describing the ego as the part of the mind that weaves illusions in its sleep. Basically, it explains that holding on to a grievance lets the ego entirely rule your mind. This essentially splits you off from your creator. It makes you project a fearful, hateful world all around you, and it even causes you to redefine God into something you should be terrified of rather than a source of unconditional love. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, wait a second, can all of this really arise from just holding a few grievances? And the text enthusiastically answers, oh yes, it's absolutely true. Even the tiniest grudges completely warp our perception of reality. Because the very moment you hold a grievance, you're denying you were created by love. And suddenly, almost like flipping a switch, the whole universe just feels like a hostile, scary place. Let's head into Section 3, Finding Motivation, Letting Go. So if the cost of holding grudges is really that high, why do we hold on to them? Well, the text acknowledges a very real, very human reality. Letting go of our grudges can often feel completely impossible. But it asserts that this feeling of impossibility is really just a matter of motivation. I want you to ask yourself, how would you feel without your grievances? Just imagine, right now, the sheer incredible relief of dropping all of that mental baggage, just setting it down. The text makes a massive promise here. It says that if you succeed in feeling that peace, even by ever so little today, you will never lack the motivation to forgive ever again. Just a tiny, tiny taste of that freedom is literally all it takes to shift your entire trajectory. Now for Section 4, Extended Practice, Actionable Steps. Let's look at how this actually builds into your day so we can shift from spiritual theory right into hard practice. Okay, here is the 4-step process for your extended practice period today. First, you're going to search your mind for major grievances, the big grudges. Those are usually pretty easy to spot. But step 2 is really crucial. You need to find the seemingly minor grievances you hold against people you actually like or even love. The text totally normalizes this. It points out that we cherish these little grievances against almost everyone we know, and that is exactly what leaves us feeling so isolated and alone in the universe. Step 3 is to actively determine to see all of these people collectively as friends. And finally, step 4 is to spend the rest of your practice time feeling completely safe and at peace. I highly, highly recommend you take a screenshot of this, write it down, or just commit it to memory. As you think of each person you hold a grievance against during your practice, whether it's like a major enemy or just your spouse who left their socks on the floor this morning, you're instructed to mentally recite this directly to them. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. After you've applied that thought to specific people, you're going to spend the remainder of your practice period trying to genuinely feel safety surrounding you. Feel it hovering over you and holding you up. Try to feel completely protected by the world. And then you finish up this extended session with this super powerful quote to really cement the feeling. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. All right, moving into section 5, short and hourly practices, maintaining peace. Because look, finding peace in a quiet meditation room is one thing, right? But keeping it during a chaotic Tuesday at work is a whole different story. That's exactly why the lesson provides short and hourly practices to maintain this peaceful momentum all day long. So this first one is your quick application. You're meant to use this instantly, the very second a triggering thought or a grievance arises against anyone at all. It doesn't matter if they're physically standing right in front of you or if they just randomly pop into your head. You catch the thought and you immediately say, "Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself." In addition to those quick trigger responses, you also have an hourly maintenance mantra. The text strongly encourages you to repeat this specific phrase several times an hour. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in him. Basically, this is your trusty tool to just keep waking yourself up from the ego's illusions all day long. So, the crucial point here is how all of this comes together into a daily schedule. Breaking it down, you've got one extended practice today, taking a longer chunk of time to go through both your major and minor grievances using those see friends and safe mantras. Then you've got your short practices to use exactly when you're triggered, just reminding yourself not to betray your true self. And finally, you have your hourly practices, repeating the idea several times an hour to remind yourself to wake to your true self. This gives you a crystal clear step-by-step action plan to completely rewire your mind starting today. And that brings us right back full circle to our core lesson. Love holds no grievances. Ultimately, this text is asking you to make a really profound choice between keeping your pain or reclaiming your peace. Every single grudge you drop is a step toward remembering who you truly are. If you found this explainer helpful, please take just a quick second to like and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, I want to leave you with this question. What would your life look like if you finally dropped your heaviest grievance today?